Greetings and GM. George Donnelly here. I'm building local Solana, rebuilding it for the Solana Eternal Hackathon. Here's my week one update. Here is kind of the flow chart of how escrow works. Let's see. Where do I start? Some people will know there was local Solana. Sadly, the company shut down. I purchased the IP, and I'm redeveloping it from scratch. Um, so starting off, this has a sequential escrow system. The seller creates escrow. When there's a buyer who wants to buy crypto. Let's see. This is the flow chart. I don't know how detailed I should get into this. But there's a step for that is it funded? Is the crypto locked in the escrow? Has the buyer marked their fiat as paid? Um, let's see. Of course, there's dispute resolution. If all goes well, and then escrow can be released. If it doesn't, here's arbitration. Let's see. Here's where a bit of an innovation comes in with sequential escrow. So, um, let's say you have someone who wants to send a remittance, from say New York to Lagos, Nigeria, but they don't want to mess with crypto, right? So they can do a P2P trade, get the crypto, and normal P2P trade. But now, if the sequential flag is set here, they're not going to get the crypto. It's just going to be passed over to a second escrow, in which now instead of the buyer, they're now the seller, and then that can be sold to someone in Nigeria who's going to buy that crypto and then deposit or give naira cash to the intended recipient. That's what this part here is about, the sequential flag. If the sequential flag is not set, then it's a normal P2P trade. But if it is set, then we get a chained remittance essentially. So this is the basically the flow chart of how the smart contract works. We've got a new website here, LocalSolana.com. Got a new about page. Jay Ray is still with us, but as an advisor. Okay, and in terms of the contracts or the contract, here's my progress so far. I decided to work on the contract first. Of course, I have my whole development environment set up. Got a series of constants. For now, I'm going to limit it to 100 USDC. I'm going to launch this on DevNet, of course. But it's going to be not going to be possible to transact more than 100 USDC for now. There's a fee contemplated of 1%. Dispute bond, single arbitrator, for now, which is me. Let's see. Got my error codes. Here's the program. So we've got the function to create escrow. There's a deposit deadline. We've got a bunch of data that we want to keep, to coordinate with like the Postgres database. We've got the trade ID, got the seller, the buyer, the arbitrator, those public keys, the amounts, the fees. So there's a deposit deadline that's for the crypto. There's a fiat deadline that's not relevant at this stage. We have a bunch of states, so the state machine aspect is clear. Let's see, we got the fund escrow function. It's only handling it should only be handling USDC so far. Not sure if I've clarified that here. Here's the mark fiat paid function. If the sequential address has to be updated while the order is in progress, that's possible. Only the buyer can do that. The release escrow function, whether it goes, it's a normal P2P trade and the funds go to the buyer, or whether it's a chained remittance and it'll go to to another escrow. Um, let's see. Of course, yeah, I've got a bunch of events here. Cancel escrow. Um, yeah, so this, open dispute. I've got a little bit more advanced dispute process here. To file a dispute, both parties have to pay 5% of the transaction value. The winner gets their bond back. The loser does not. Yeah, so and of course they have to submit evidence. Right now, yeah, there's a default judgment function. Right now, I'm the sole arbitrator, but in the future that can be decentralized. Yeah, there's a lot more stuff here. Resolve dispute. Yeah, so I don't want to bore you with the code, but that's my progress in the first week. Still, there's a bunch of errors in my contract code, so I gotta work that out. And then I'll be building the event listener, and then API server with Express.js. Still have to set up the Postgres server to be kind of the source of truth for the system, and then later towards the end I'll be setting up the solid JS front end. So yeah, thanks.